Hello everyone, this is Jenny. Today, I'll be providing a complete analysis of South Korea's largest private development project in history, the PARKSIDE Seoul, currently underway in Itaewon-dong, Yongsan-gu, Seoul. This project, with an astronomical investment of 13 trillion won, is not just a simple apartment complex. From the world-renowned luxury hotel brand Rosewood Hotel to premium residences, cutting-edge offices, and large shopping malls, everything is concentrated in one place. It's truly a city within a city. The location where the Parkside Seoul will be built is none other than the UN Command Headquarters site. This land, which has been off-limits to the general public for 70 years, is a rare large-scale development site in central Seoul, possessing tremendous scarcity value in itself. It boasts the prime location of forest rights, as it's directly adjacent to Yongsan Park, and is located within 1 kilometer of the Han River in a straight line. It's positioned right in the center of the premium residential belt connecting Itaewon, Hanam-dong, and Cheongdam-dong. The design of the Parkside Seoul has been entrusted to the world-renowned architectural group KPF. What vision have these architects, who designed New York's One World Trade Center and Shanghai World Financial Center, presented for this project? Let's take a detailed look at KPF's design philosophy and the unique architectural features of the Parkside Seoul.
So much work all over the world in a lot of places in a lot of different countries. And I guess a recent project that many people might know would be Hudson Yards in New York, where we created a master plan on a derelict rail yard that had a mix of uses: residential, office, retail, food and beverage, and strong connections to that urban fabric of the High Line. I think the High Line might be an interesting infrastructure to underscore because it anchors the northern end of the High Line. That's a new urban environment that I think really does have and it makes an impact on how people live and work, and 10 or 15 years it's just going to get better and better and better. It is how we think about making an impact on the public realm. Fundamentally, what we're so interested in is how can we create a fabric? How can we create an urban set of buildings that work together, that shape a linear park or a plaza, create an outdoor room that feels really comfortable to the human being. Some places, some environments need a landmark like Lotte Tower, for example. We needed to have a landmark that was an object that really kind of created a dramatic moment in the city. But at Parkside Seoul, we're really interested in using the buildings that shape the experience as walls and containers of a room that make a place, not an object, but they all work together to create a place. And we think about materiality, we think about color, we think about texture, we think about shape, paving patterns, we think about window details, joints. We really think about down to the quarter of an inch, how can we create a wonderful experience? And making sure that it doesn't feel artificial, that we want to make sure that we're thinking about authentic experiences and authentic materiality and things that feel solid and secure and timeless. At Parkside Seoul, so much of our effort has been about making sure that that is a key ingredient into making this a really wonderful place for people to live for a very long time. I mean, my feeling is that that's really the heart of Parkside Seoul, is that street. Most of our experiences in life, our public lives, we have strong memories of precious streets that are important to us. And I think that 330-meter stretch of Green Park is the heart of Parkside Seoul. We always talk about it conceptually as being sort of pulled out from Yongsan Park. We want to try to establish that connection conceptually, but also really draw from the landscape that's in that park and find a way to really make that strong connection to the site itself. So we're not literally taking plantings from, we're not pulling the species of trees or that into our development, but the idea of making that green kind of something that really feels good to come into the site is really a fundamental goal of ours, to the point where we're actually taking it just on the street itself, but we're bringing it all the way up into the section of the hotel, which to me is really powerful. I can see there is a really strong connection to thinking about New York Central Park and the relationship to Yongsan Park, and I think that probably is very true because probably the scale is roughly the same, has the same kind of presence, the same grandeur, but the scale of the buildings that are coming up around Central Park are so tall and so vertical that doesn't really have the same characteristic that I think Yongsan and Parkside Seoul will have, that relationship between Central Park West, Fifth Avenue, and Central Park South. The streets and the building block around Central Park probably won't really feel exactly like the relationship between Parkside Seoul and Yongsan Park. The quality is a lot like the buildings around Central Park, what we're trying to achieve. The quality is there, but the scale is more the scale of the development around the High Line. That's kind of the way that we're thinking about the presence of Parkside Seoul.
Landscaping is just as important as the buildings themselves. The landscaping for the Parkside Seoul is handled by Field Operations, a world-renowned landscape architecture group that designed New York's Brooklyn Bridge Park and Seattle's Central Waterfront. Let's explore their concept of ecological urban space and the green network that connects to Yongsan Park.
I am James Corner. I lead our office Field Operations based in New York City. We're sort of renowned for many important public realm projects around the world, perhaps most notably New York's High Line, San Francisco's Presidio, waterfront in Hong Kong, and a number of other important projects around the world where we are striving always to bring nature and people together in a closer relationship. When you speak about landscape and parks and gardens, there's a tendency to think of them on the one hand as being very ecologically sound, almost wild, exceedingly lush and green, but very informal. And on the other hand, you can think about gardens as being quite formal, quite designed. I think in our work at Parkside, we want to integrate these two approaches, where you have a strong sense of design, there's a strong sense of sort of a luxurious quality in terms of design experience, how materials and details and forms are made. I think a key word for us would be natural. We want these spaces to feel natural, to be of nature, to have plantings and the sound of birds, but also to feel natural in terms of how people feel in the spaces, that they feel comfortable, they feel invited. There are places to sit, places to meet friends, places for events and special occasions. And because it's quite a large area, we want it to feel like a community with a variety of spaces. It's very clear many of the architectural facades are sort of a play, the intricacies of lattice structure. We've tried to bring that formal language onto the ground plane in terms of how the surfaces are paved, how they're given an identity, so that the experience of walking through the public spaces resonates with the feel of the vertical faces of the buildings. The second thing is the master plan has very clear journeys through the development. One enters and then turns right and then turns left and then walks through. That choreography of journeys and vistas and viewpoints into adjacent contexts and adjacent parts of the city. Our design is responsive to how one walks through, finds their way, and experiences a journey moving through and around the different buildings and the different passageways. And the third thing is the ground plane itself. Many of these buildings have active ground floors in terms of cafes and restaurants or shops and lobbies. And how the public realm responds and reacts to those building frontages, where people come in and out of buildings, inside and outside, in dialogue, is an important aspect of our design consideration. So the landscape design approach is to retain the same vocabulary, the lattice vocabulary, the geological stone vocabulary, but to work with different scales and different intensity. Something where residents can find a quiet space to be alone or to meet a friend, but it has solitude, it has reflection, it has serenity. It's very delicate and extraordinarily elegant and beautiful. And as you move closer to the commercial area, it's more public, it's more bustling with life. We have more expansive spaces, there's more pavement, there's more furnishings where people can sit and meet. There are more spaces where you can have flexible uses. In the case of Seoul, I've always been impressed with a double-sided nature that is, to me, uniquely Korean and definitely palpable in Seoul. On the one hand is the urbanism of the city. It's a very vibrant city. There's a lot of people out and about, bustling around. It's a very elegant city And so again, at Parkside, we've tried to echo some of these qualities of sort of cosmopolitan urbanism, the street life of Seoul, the elegant character of the public spaces in Seoul, but also mixing that with a sense of nature in a delicate and an intimate way. Yeah, I mean, the fact that Parkside is next to Yongsan Park is a wonderful asset for the whole development. And the development is quite sizable, so has a very strong relationship to the park in terms of its scale. So we think it's a great opportunity and a real benefit for Parkside to be located where it is and to have this relationship to the park. But also, we've, in our design, drawn the park through the development. Maybe more recently, 10 years ago, started to get a different sense of life in the city of Seoul. A lot more people, a lot more dynamic, more interesting spaces, more green spaces. And more recently, I mean, the whole city is almost becoming a garden city. This bringing of nature into the city is so important for how people feel, how they enjoy their lifestyle in the city, for their health, not only their physical health, but their mental and spiritual health. We're finding that in cities all around the world, there's a massive movement now toward more parks, more greenery, more gardens. On the High Line, we were able to discover how to create very tactile and intimate and delicate experiences in a relatively short or small space. And we've tried to learn from that and amplify that at Parkside, to elevate how public space is designed and how it feels at a very tactile and a very intimate scale. So the new residents at Parkside can begin to feel a stronger sense of connection to the urban world and to the natural world. Many of our details, the way in which we have used both hard materials and planted materials, there's a lot more intricacy, a lot more micro detail that's going in to create very delicate experiences that I think will leave a very impressionable impact on how people feel and how they live and how they enjoy and ultimately take pride in where they live.
The core of the Parkside Seoul is the largest Rosewood Hotel in Asia. This ultra-luxury hotel brand, where VIPs from around the world stay, is landing in Seoul. What's particularly noteworthy is the Parkside Club. This is an exclusive clubhouse available only to residents, operated directly by Rosewood Hotel as a premium amenity. From spa and fitness to dining, you can enjoy hotel-level services in your daily life. The Parkside Seoul consists of 1,245 units in total, comprising both apartment-style and office-style units. All units are designed to overlook Yongsan Park, and the top-floor penthouse set a new record for the Yongsan area at 18.5 billion won. It's not just a home, but a space that provides a complete lifestyle. The Parkside Seoul is not just about residential living. It's a true mixed-use city equipped with large shopping malls, offices, and convention centers. This can be considered the Korean model of world-class mixed-use developments, like Tokyo's Roppongi Hills and Azabuti Hills. This project, scheduled for completion in 2027, is expected to change not only the Yongsan area, but the entire urban paradigm of Seoul. This 13 trillion won project goes beyond simple real estate development. It's a historic undertaking to create a new urban center in Seoul. What do you think about this project? Please leave your thoughts in the comments. Next time, we'll take a closer look at the office-style types and sales prices that are currently being quickly contracted for units with good view lines. Since competition for good units is fierce, please contact us, and we'll help you with gallery visits and making the best choice. And if you're curious about more real estate information, please subscribe and like. Thank you.